In the freezing depths of a snowy prehistoric landscape, SCP-682, the indestructible reptilian monster, roamed aimlessly. Its massive form cut through the icy terrain like a living nightmare, its glowing green eyes scanning the bizarre landscape for any sign of danger. Suddenly, a pair of corrupted theropods appeared before SCP-682. The Uranus and Nonuxoris, with their purple eyes gleaming with malevolence, snarled at the monstrous reptile. Without hesitation, SCP-682 launched itself at the corrupted duo, and the battle began. The clash between the three titans ignited the frigid air with energy waves, explosions, and billowing smoke. The ground trembled under the force of their onslaught, as they tore into each other with savage ferocity. Each blow seemed to only fuel their relentless fury, as they unleashed their full power. Both SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods were revealed to possess a new ability, the power of their glowing eyes. SCP-682's green eyes shimmered with an otherworldly light, while the theropods' purple eyes radiated a dark energy. With their gaze, they could regenerate and heal from any injury, regrow lost body parts, and increase their already monstrous strength. As the battle raged on, more corrupted prehistoric fauna joined the fray. Purple-eyed mutated woolly mammoths, rhinos, terror birds, and saber-tooths added their formidable strength to the conflict. The ground shook with their thunderous footsteps as they unleashed their own abilities with their glowing eyes. The battlefield became a chaotic maelstrom of destruction as the combatants clashed endlessly and disastrously. The air crackled with energy, explosions lighting up the sky like fireworks. The landscape around them turned into a war zone, with no end in sight. With each passing moment, the intensity of the battle only grew. The corrupted prehistoric fauna used their glowing eyes to enhance their speed and agility, darting around SCP-682 with deadly precision. The monstrous reptile, in turn, unleashed its own power, its glowing eyes pulsing with a neon-lit green light as it sprouted metallic endoskeletons and sharper teeth and claws. The eternal battle seemed to stretch into infinity as the combatants thrashed each other with unbridled fury. The snowy landscape around them bore the scars of their conflict, with craters and devastation marking their path. Yet still, they fought on, locked in a never-ending struggle for dominance. As the sun set on the icy landscape, casting a crimson glow over the battlefield, the eternal battle continued. SCP-682 and the corrupted prehistoric fauna clashed with a fury that knew no bounds, their glowing eyes the only light in the darkness. And as the night stretched on, the sound of their endless conflict echoed through the snowy landscape, a testament to their unyielding will. The battle of the titans had begun, and it seemed that it would never end. Words, 466. SCP-682, the indestructible reptilian monster, found itself wandering across a snowy prehistoric landscape unlike any it had ever seen before. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and the ground was dotted with strange, mutated flora and fauna. As SCP-682 trudged through the snow, its green multiple eyes scanned the horizon for any signs of danger. Suddenly, a pair of massive, purple-eyed theropods emerged from the shadows, a Uranus and a Nonuxoris, both corrupted by some unknown force. The two beasts snarled and roared, their purple eyes glowing with an eerie light as they locked onto SCP-682. Without hesitation, the three creatures lunged at each other, teeth and claws bared in a brutal fight to the death. The ground shook with the force of their blows, and the air crackled with the energy they emitted. Explosions of light and smoke erupted all around as they clashed, each trying to gain the upper hand. As the battle raged on, more corrupted prehistoric fauna joined in the fray. A purple-eyed woolly mammoth, a mutated terror bird, a monstrous saber-toothed squirrel, the battlefield was quickly filled with a menagerie of bizarre and deadly creatures, all with glowing purple eyes and a thirst for blood. But SCP-682 was not easily defeated. Using the full potential of its glowing green eyes, it regenerated and healed from every injury, growing stronger and more ferocious with each passing moment. The corrupted fauna, too, tapped into the power of their purple eyes, their bodies transforming into neon-lit, metallic forms of pure destruction. The battle seemed endless, a never-ending cycle of violence and chaos. The creatures thrashed and roared, their bodies morphing and shifting in an unending dance of death. Energy waves rippled through the air, explosions lit up the sky, and the snow around them turned a sickly shade of purple as the corruption spread. As the fight continued, the creatures' already incredible speed and agility increased exponentially, their movements becoming a blur of motion and violence. SCP-682 and the corrupted fauna clashed with a ferocity that seemed to defy all logic, their glowing eyes the only source of light in the darkening landscape. As the battle raged on, it became clear that there would be no victor in this eternal conflict. SCP-682 and the corrupted fauna were locked in a never-ending struggle, their glowing eyes flashing with determination and rage. The snowy battlefield was now a twisted, nightmarish landscape of destruction and despair, where the only sound that could be heard was the relentless howls of the damned. And so, the battle raged on, endlessly and disastrously, as SCP-682 and the corrupted purple-eyed prehistoric fauna fought with a ferocity that could only be described as inhuman. The snow beneath their feet was stained with blood and littered with the bodies of the fallen, as the eternal struggle between predator and prey played out in a never-ending cycle of violence and death. And as the last rays of sunlight faded from the sky, the glowing eyes of the combatants burned even brighter, illuminating the desolate landscape in an eerie, otherworldly light. Words, 523. SCP-682, the infamous indestructible reptilian monster, found itself wandering across a snowy prehistoric landscape unlike any it had ever encountered. The bizarre terrain was filled with strange mutated creatures, some of which had glowing purple eyes that seemed to pulsate with dark energy. As SCP-682 roamed through the snow-covered valleys and ice-capped mountains, it suddenly came across a duo of corrupted theropods. The first was a Uranus, its large feathered body twisted and malformed, its purple eyes gleaming with a malevolent light. The second was a Nonuxoris, its smaller size belying its ferocity, its jaws filled with sharp teeth glistening with unnatural power. Without hesitation, SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods engaged in a brutal battle that shook the very foundations of the prehistoric landscape. Energy waves erupted from their bodies, explosions rocked the snowy ground, and smoke filled the air as they clashed with unrelenting fury. Both sides utilized the full potential of their glowing eyes, with SCP-682's green multiple eyes pulsating with power while the corrupted theropods' purple eyes emitted an eerie glow. With each attack, they regrew and healed from their injuries, their bodies constantly adapting to the fierce combat. Soon, more of the corrupted purple-eyed prehistoric fauna joined the fray. Mutated woolly mammoths, rhinos, terror birds, and other bizarre creatures swarmed the battlefield, their eyes glowing with the same dark energy as the theropods. Even creatures like saber-toothed squirrels and smilodons joined the chaotic melee, adding to the madness of the eternal battle. As the battle raged on, the corrupted fauna began using their glowing eyes to enhance their bodies further. Their endoskeletons turned metallic and neon-lit, their teeth and claws sharpening to deadly points. SCP-682 responded in kind, utilizing its green glowing eyes to create a metallic endosskeleton and razor-sharp claws and tails. The landscape was soon transformed into a nightmarish battlefield of shimmering metal and glowing eyes, with explosions and energy waves constantly rippling through the air. The creatures moved with unearthly speed and agility, their movements a blur of violence and chaos. Despite the unending carnage, both sides showed no signs of slowing down. The battle had become a never-ending cycle of destruction, with neither side able to gain the upper hand. They fought with a primal ferocity, locked in an eternal struggle that seemed to defy all reason. As the snowy landscape continued to be torn apart by the relentless combat, it became clear that this battle would never truly end. SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods, along with the other mutated prehistoric fauna, were destined to fight each other for all eternity, their glowing eyes forever locked in a deadly dance of violence and destruction. And thus, the saga of the indestructible reptilian monster and the corrupted creatures of the past continued, a never-ending spectacle of chaos and turmoil. SCP-682, the indestructible reptilian monster, found itself wandering across a snowy prehistoric landscape unlike any it had seen before. The air was filled with a strange energy, and the ground was littered with bizarre fauna that seemed to be corrupted in some way. As SCP-682 continued on its path, it suddenly came across two towering theropods with purple glowing eyes, a Uteranus and a Nanuxsaurus. Without hesitation, SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods engaged in a brutal battle. The clash of their titanic forms shook the very ground beneath them, causing explosions and emitting energy waves that rippled across the snowy landscape. Both sides utilized the full potential of their glowing eyes. SCP-682's eyes glowed green with multiple hues, while the corrupted theropods' eyes emitted an eerie purple light. As the battle raged on, more of the corrupted prehistoric fauna joined in the eternal conflict. Mutated woolly mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, terror birds, and other bizarre creatures with purple glowing eyes flocked to the battle scene, eager to partake in the chaos. They, too, used the power of their cosmic eyes to regenerate and heal from injuries, making the fight seemingly endless. The landscape was soon filled with neon-lit metallic endoskeletons, sharp teeth, claws, and horns, all generated by the glowing eyes of the combatants. SCP-682 and the corrupted fauna moved with ungodly speed and agility, their movements almost too fast for the naked eye to follow. The sheer ferocity of the battle was overwhelming, with explosions, fireworks, and energy waves constantly erupting around them. Despite the endless onslaught, SCP-682 refused to back down. Its determination only fueled the intensity of the battle, as it clashed with each new challenger that dared to step into the fray. The corrupted fauna, too, fought with a relentless fervor, their glowing eyes serving as beacons of their twisted power. As the battle waged on, the snowy landscape around them began to morph and shift, taking on a surreal and otherworldly quality. The very fabric of reality seemed to warp and bend under the strain of the chaotic conflict. Time became a meaningless concept as the eternal battle raged on, with no end in sight. In the midst of the chaos, SCP-682 found itself facing not just the corrupted fauna, but its own inner demons as well. The reptilian monster tapped into the darkest depths of its own power, unleashing a wave of destructive energy that threatened to consume everything in its path. The corrupted fauna responded in kind, their purple eyes glowing brighter than ever as they pushed their abilities to the limit. And so, the eternal battle between SCP-682 and the corrupted prehistoric fauna continued, a never-ending cycle of destruction and rebirth. The snowy landscape bore witness to their unending struggle, a testament to the raw power and unyielding will of these monstrous entities. And as the cosmic eyes of the combatants blazed with intensity, the world around them trembled in anticipation of the final outcome. Words, 503. SCP-682, the indestructible reptilian monster, found itself wandering across a snowy prehistoric landscape unlike any it had ever encountered before. The air was frigid, thick with the scent of decay and corruption. The ground was littered with the bones of long-extinct creatures, and the sky was a dark, ominous shade of purple. As SCP-682 moved through the frozen wasteland, it suddenly came across a pair of corrupted theropods, their purple eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The duo, a Uteranus and a Nanuxsaurus, wasted no time in attacking the monstrous reptile. The three beings clashed violently, their roars echoing across the icy landscape. The battle between SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods was a sight to behold. Energy waves crackled through the air, explosions rocked the ground, and smoke billowed up into the sky. Each combatant seemed to draw strength from the chaos around them, using the full potential of their glowing eyes to heal and regenerate from every blow. But the fight was far from over. As the conflict raged on, more corrupted prehistoric creatures began to join the fray. A mutated woolly mammoth, a corrupted terror bird, a twisted saber-toothed squirrel named Scrath from the Ice Age animated franchise, the battlefield was soon filled with a menagerie of bizarre and terrifying creatures, all with glowing purple eyes and a thirst for destruction. The corrupted fauna unleashed their full power, using their glowing eyes to enhance their already monstrous abilities. Metal protrusions sprouted from their bodies, turning them into grotesque, neon-lit abominations. SCP-682, not to be outdone, also tapped into the power of its own green glowing eyes, transforming itself into a metallic, razor-sharp behemoth. As the battle continued to escalate, the landscape around them began to crumble. Mountains of ice shattered, great chasms opened up in the earth, and the very air seemed to crackle with an otherworldly energy. But still, the combatants fought on, their primal rage driving them to new heights of destruction. Hours turned into days, days turned into weeks, and still the battle raged on. The eternal conflict between SCP-682 and the corrupted prehistoric fauna seemed to have no end in sight. Each side was locked in a never-ending cycle of violence and regeneration, constantly pushing themselves to new limits of power and endurance. And so, the snowy prehistoric landscape became a battleground of epic proportions, a place where the forces of chaos and corruption clashed in a never-ending struggle for dominance. And as long as SCP-682 and the corrupted creatures continued to fight, the world around them would remain trapped in a state of eternal turmoil and destruction. Words, 441. The snow-covered landscape stretched as far as the eye could see, a desolate and eerie scene that seemed frozen in time. SCP-682, the indomitable reptilian monster, moved with purpose across the prehistoric terrain, its glowing green eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of danger. The creature had faced many foes in its long existence, but nothing could prepare it for what lay ahead. As SCP-682 wandered through the icy wasteland, it suddenly came face to face with two towering theropods, their purple eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Uteranus and Nanuxsaurus, corrupted by some dark force, snarled and bared their teeth as they prepared to attack the intruder in their territory. Without hesitation, SCP-682 lunged at the corrupted theropods, unleashing a flurry of clawed strikes and tail swipes. The ground shook with the force of their battle, sending shockwaves rippling through the snowy landscape. Explosions of energy and bursts of smoke filled the air as the creatures clashed, their primal instincts driving them to fight without mercy. As the fight raged on, both SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods tapped into the full potential of their glowing eyes. The reptilian monster's green orbs pulsed with power, granting it the ability to regenerate and heal from even the most devastating injuries. Meanwhile, the purple-eyed theropods used their eerie gaze to enhance their speed and agility, making them formidable opponents in the struggle for dominance. But the battle was far from over, as more corrupted prehistoric fauna began to join the fray. A mutated woolly mammoth, its fur mottled with dark patches, charged into the fray alongside a woolly rhino with gleaming tusks. A terror bird screeched as it swooped down from the sky, its purple eyes locked on SCP-682. The landscape became a chaotic battleground, with every creature using their glowing eyes to unleash devastating attacks and defenses. As the fighting continued, a strange creature emerged from the shadows, a saber-toothed squirrel named Scrat, its tiny claws sharp and deadly. The creature leapt into the fray, joining the eternal battle with a ferocity that belied its small size. Alongside a Smilodon, a cave lion, and an American lion, Scrat fought with all its might, determined to prove its worth in the face of such powerful adversaries. The clash of claws, teeth, and horns echoed across the snowy landscape, a symphony of destruction that seemed to have no end. Despite the chaos and the unrelenting attacks, SCP-682 and the corrupted fauna showed no signs of slowing down, their glowing eyes shining with a fierce determination to emerge victorious. And so the battle raged on, an eternal struggle between the unstoppable force of SCP-682 and the unyielding fury of the corrupted prehistoric fauna. The snowy landscape bore witness to their eternal conflict, a never-ending cycle of destruction and rebirth that seemed destined to continue for all time. The snowy prehistoric landscape was unlike anything SCP-682 had ever witnessed before. The towering mountains, vast icy plains, and strange flora and fauna that inhabited the area all added to the eerie and mysterious atmosphere. As SCP-682 roamed the snowy terrain, it came across two towering figures with glowing purple eyes, corrupted theropods that seemed to exude a malevolent energy. Without hesitation, SCP-682 lunged at the corrupted theropods, engaging them in a brutal and endless battle. Energy waves, explosions, and smoke filled the air as the three titans clashed, their ferocity unmatched. The ground trembled beneath their feet as they fought, each one using their glowing eyes to heal and regenerate from every blow they received. As the battle raged on, more corrupted prehistoric creatures joined the fray. Mutated woolly mammoths, rhinos, terror birds, and saber-toothed tigers all with glowing purple eyes descended upon the battlefield, their numbers overwhelming. The corrupted fauna used their glowing eyes to enhance their strength and speed, matching SCP-682 blow for blow. But SCP-682 was not to be outdone. It too utilized its glowing green multiple eyes, generating a neon-lit metallic endoskeleton and sharper teeth and claws. The creature's resilience and determination seemed to know no bounds as it fought against the horde of corrupted prehistoric beasts. Among the chaos, familiar faces emerged. Manny and Ellie, the mammoth couple from the Ice Age movies, along with Diego and Shira, the corrupted saber-toothed tiger duo, all joined the battle alongside their companion Sid, the corrupted sloth. The once peaceful creatures now fought with a ferocity and aggression that was unsettling to witness. The battle seemed to stretch on endlessly, the combatants locked in a never-ending cycle of violence and destruction. The snowy landscape was now littered with the remains of fallen creatures, their bodies torn and broken from the relentless fighting. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and blood, the sounds of roars and screams echoing across the landscape. As the sun began to set on the prehistoric battlefield, the fighting showed no signs of slowing down. SCP-682 and the corrupted creatures were locked in a never-ending struggle, their glowing eyes fueling their endless energy and resilience. The landscape was forever changed by the battle, a testament to the destructive power of these otherworldly beings. And so, the eternal battle raged on, a never-ending cycle of violence and chaos that seemed to have no end in sight. The snowy prehistoric landscape would forever bear the scars of this epic clash, a reminder of the power and danger that lurked within its icy depths. And as the stars twinkled overhead, the creatures continued to fight, their glowing eyes casting an eerie light over the eternal battlefield. Words, 458. As SCP-682 roamed the snowy prehistoric landscape, it encountered the purple-eyed corrupted theropods, Uteranus and Nanuxsaurus. The air crackled with energy as the monstrous entities clashed, their glowing eyes pulsing with power. You will not defeat us, creature. Roared Nanuxsaurus, swinging its massive claws at SCP-682. I will crush you both into dust. Bellowed SCP-682, its multiple green eyes glowing fiercely as it lashed out with its sharp claws. Explosions rocked the landscape as the beings fought, their bodies regenerating and healing at an alarming rate thanks to the power of their glowing eyes. The ground trembled beneath their feet, sending shockwaves rippling through the snow. As the battle raged on, more corrupted prehistoric fauna joined the fray, their purple eyes shining with malevolent intent. The woolly mammoth, woolly rhino, terror bird, and saber-toothed tiger all unleashed their own powers, adding to the chaos. Join us, creature of darkness. Snarled the corrupted saber-toothed tiger, its purple eyes locking with SCP-682's own glowing gaze. I will never bow to the likes of you. Roared SCP-682, unleashing a wave of energy that sent the other creatures reeling. The battlefield became a maelstrom of destruction, with energy waves, explosions, and smoke filling the air. The creatures' glowing eyes shimmered with power, allowing them to regenerate and grow stronger with each passing moment. We must end this now before it consumes us all. Cried Manny, the male mammoth, as he charged into the fray alongside his mate, Ellie. The romantic mammoth couple added their strength to the battle, their purple eyes blazing with determination. They fought fiercely, their tusks and trunks lashing out at the corrupted creatures with all their might. Diego and Shira, the corrupted saber-toothed tiger couple, joined the fray, their glowing eyes fixed on SCP-682. We will not let you destroy our world. Growled Diego, his claws glinting in the eerie light. We will fight to the end to protect what is ours. Added Shira, her purple-eyed gaze fierce and unyielding. Sid, the corrupted prehistoric sloth, chimed in with his own brand of lethargic determination. I may be slow, but I will not stand idly by while you wreak havoc on our land. The battle continued to rage, with the creatures locked in an eternal struggle for dominance. The snowy landscape was torn apart as energy waves and explosions rocked the terrain, creating a spectacle of destruction that seemed to have no end in sight. As the creatures fought on, their glowing eyes burning with power, it became clear that this battle would not be easily won. The eternal struggle between SCP-682 and the corrupted prehistoric fauna had only just begun, and no one could predict what the outcome would be. But one thing was certain, the snowy prehistoric landscape would never be the same again. The creatures had unleashed forces beyond their control, and the consequences of their actions would reverberate throughout the ages. And as the battle raged on, the world held its breath, waiting to see who would emerge victorious in this epic clash of titans. Words, 516. The snowy landscape of the prehistoric world was already a bizarre and dangerous place, but it became even more chaotic when SCP-682, the indestructible reptilian monster, crossed paths with the purple-eyed corrupted theropods duo. The Uteranus and Nanuxsaurus were fierce opponents, but they were no match for SCP-682's sheer power and tenacity. As soon as the three creatures clashed, the ground trembled and the sky was filled with bursts of energy waves, explosions, and smoke. It was a sight to behold as the landscape was torn apart by the sheer force of their battle. SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods used every trick in their arsenal, including their glowing eyes, to gain the upper hand in the fight. The green multiple eyes of SCP-682 glowed with an otherworldly light as it unleashed its full potential, regenerating and healing from every injury inflicted by its opponents. The purple glowing eyes of the corrupted theropods duo were equally powerful, allowing them to recover and regrow from every attack. But the battle didn't end with just the three of them. More of the corrupted purple-eyed prehistoric fauna joined the fray, from mutated woolly mammoths to saber-toothed tigers. Each creature used their glowing eyes to enhance their abilities, turning the battlefield into a chaotic and eternal struggle. The corrupted prehistoric fauna also had a new trick up their sleeves. Using the full potential of their glowing purple cosmic eyes, they generated metallic, neon-lit endoskeletons and sharper teeth and claws, making them even more formidable opponents. SCP-682 responded in kind, using its green glowing eyes to create a similar metallic endoskeleton and sharpened weapons. The battle raged on endlessly, with neither side gaining a clear advantage. The constant thrashing, explosions, and energy waves filled the air as more and more creatures joined the fight. Even beloved characters from the Ice Age movie franchise, such as Ellie and Manny the mammoths, and Diego and Shira the saber-toothed tiger couple, entered the fray. As the battle continued without end, it became clear that this was a fight that would last for eternity. The creatures used their glowing eyes to increase their speed and agility, making the chaos even more intense. The landscape was scarred and torn apart, with no sign of an end to the conflict. The eternal battle between SCP-682 and the corrupted prehistoric fauna was a thrilling and terrifying spectacle. The sheer power and determination of the creatures, combined with the endless explosions and energy waves, created a sense of unease and wonder in anyone who witnessed it. It was a battle that would go down in history as one of the most epic and destructive conflicts ever seen. Words, 449. SCP-682, the indestructible reptilian monster, roamed across the snowy prehistoric landscape, its green multiple eyes scanning its surroundings for any potential threats. The air was filled with tension as the creature moved through the bizarre terrain, its massive form creating deep footprints in the snow. Suddenly, SCP-682 came across a pair of corrupted theropods, their purple eyes glowing ominously in the dim light. The Uteranus and Nanuxsaurus snarled at the reptilian monster, their sharp teeth gleaming in the eerie glow. Without hesitation, SCP-682 lunged at the corrupted theropods, their battle shaking the very ground beneath them. Energy waves rippled out from the conflict, causing explosions and smoke to fill the air. The sheer ferocity of the fight was enough to send shivers down the spines of anyone who witnessed it. As the battle raged on, both sides began to use the full potential of their glowing eyes. SCP-682's green eyes shimmered with power, while the corrupted theropods' purple eyes glowed with a dark energy. The creatures utilized their glowing eyes to heal and regenerate from every attack, their bodies repairing themselves almost instantly. The clash between SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods drew the attention of more of the corrupted purple-eyed prehistoric fauna. Mutated woolly mammoths, rhinos, terror birds, and other bizarre creatures joined the fray, their purple eyes adding an ominous glow to the battlefield. The creatures fought relentlessly, their glowing eyes pulsating with power as they launched themselves at each other with unmatched speed and agility. The landscape echoed with the sounds of roaring, snarling, and the clash of teeth and claws as the eternal battle continued without end. Among the chaos, familiar faces from the Ice Age came into view. Manny and Ellie, the mammoth couple from the animated movie franchise Ice Age, joined the battle alongside Diego and Shira, the corrupted saber-toothed tiger couple, and Sid, the corrupted sloth. The addition of these iconic characters only heightened the intensity of the conflict. Despite the overwhelming odds, SCP-682 and the corrupted prehistoric fauna continued to fight ferociously, their glowing eyes granting them unmatched strength and durability. The battlefield turned into a maelstrom of destruction, with explosions and fireworks lighting up the sky as the creatures clashed endlessly. As the battle raged on, it became clear that there would be no victor in this eternal conflict. The creatures fought with a primal fury that seemed to transcend time itself, their endless struggle echoing through the snowy landscape for all eternity. And so, SCP-682 and the corrupted purple-eyed prehistoric fauna continued their battle without end, their glowing eyes forever locked in a deadly dance of destruction. In this bizarre and twisted world, the line between predator and prey had long since been blurred, leaving only chaos and unending conflict in its wake. SCP-682, the indestructible reptilian monster, roamed across the snowy prehistoric landscape. The icy wind howled, carrying the faint echoes of a distant battle. The creature's green multiple eyes searched the horizon, scanning for any sign of danger. Suddenly, a pair of purple-eyed corrupted theropods emerged from the shadows. Uteranus and Nonuxoris, their bodies twisted and mutated, charged towards SCP-682 with ferocious determination. The ground trembled as the monstrous beings clashed, their roars drowning out the howling wind. The battle raged on endlessly, each creature unleashing devastating attacks upon the other. Energy waves crackled through the air, explosions sending plumes of smoke billowing into the sky. The snowy landscape was littered with the scars of their fierce confrontation. Both SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods tapped into the full potential of their glowing eyes. The green light of SCP-682's eyes clashed with the purple glow of the theropods, creating a dazzling display of power and destruction. As the battle intensified, more of the corrupted purple-eyed prehistoric fauna joined the fray. Mutated woolly mammoths, towering terror birds, and saber-toothed tigers with neon-lit fangs all converged on the battlefield. The air was filled with the acrid scent of ozone and the deafening sounds of combat. The creatures utilized their glowing eyes to regenerate and heal from their injuries, each strike only making them stronger. Their bodies glowed with an otherworldly light, their movements swift and deadly as they fought for supremacy. Ellie and Manny, the mammoth couple from the Ice Age movies, joined the chaos, their massive forms adding to the destruction. Diego and Shira, the corrupted saber-toothed tiger duo, lunged into the fray alongside their sloth companion, Sid. The battle escalated into a maelstrom of chaos and power, the combatants locked in a relentless struggle that seemed to have no end. The ground shook with each thunderous collision, the sky ablaze with bursts of energy and light. As the eons passed, the conflict showed no signs of abating. The eternal battle had become a twisted dance of destruction, a never-ending cycle of violence and power. The corrupted prehistoric fauna continued to use the full potential of their glowing eyes, their forms growing more monstrous and terrifying with each passing moment. SCP-682 matched them in intensity, its own body transforming into a glowing, metallic form of unimaginable strength. The landscape was torn asunder by the unending conflict, the very fabric of reality fraying under the strain of so much power unleashed. The creatures fought on, their primal instincts driving them forward in a frenzy of bloodlust and fury. And so, the battle raged on, an eternal struggle between beings of unimaginable power and darkness. The snowy wasteland bore witness to a spectacle of destruction and chaos that would echo through the ages, a testament to the indomitable will of those who fought on, unyielding and relentless in their pursuit of dominance. Words, 482. The snow-covered prehistoric landscape was unlike anything SCP-682 had ever seen before. The reptilian monster moved gracefully through the bizarre terrain, its emerald green eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of danger. Suddenly, a pair of corrupted theropods emerged from the shadows, their purple eyes glowing ominously in the dim light. The Uteranus and Nonuxoris duo lunged at SCP-682, their razor-sharp claws and teeth gleaming in the icy air. The indestructible monster roared defiantly, unleashing a wave of energy that sent the corrupted theropods flying. The battle had begun, and it was a sight to behold. As the creatures clashed, explosions and smoke filled the air, turning the snowy landscape into a war zone. SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods used their glowing eyes to heal and regenerate from each other's attacks, their power seemingly limitless. It was a battle of epic proportions, with no end in sight. But as the fight raged on, more of the corrupted prehistoric fauna began to join the fray. Mutated woolly mammoths, rhinos, terror birds, and saber-toothed squirrels all entered the battlefield, their purple eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. The sheer power of their combined forces was staggering, causing the very ground to tremble with each step. Despite the overwhelming odds, SCP-682 remained undaunted. The monster unleashed a barrage of attacks, its neon-lit green endoskeleton gleaming in the chaotic light. The corrupted animals countered with their own abilities, using their glowing eyes to increase their speed and agility to deadly levels. As the battle raged on, even more bizarre creatures joined the fight. Ellie and Manny, the mammoth couple from the Ice Age movies, fought alongside Diego and Shira, the saber-toothed tiger duo. Sid the sloth also joined the fray, adding his own unique abilities to the mix. The battlefield was a cacophony of smoke, explosions, and energy waves, with no end in sight. SCP-682 and the corrupted prehistoric fauna clashed relentlessly, their glowing eyes casting an eerie light across the snowy landscape. It was a battle for the ages, an eternal struggle between two powerful forces that seemed destined to never end. As the fight continued to escalate, both sides unleashed their full potential, their bodies glowing with different colored trails of energy. The sheer power of their attacks threatened to tear the very fabric of reality apart, but still they fought on, their determination unwavering. And so, the eternal battle between SCP-682 and the corrupted theropods raged on, a never-ending conflict that would echo through the ages. In the snowy prehistoric landscape, the indestructible monster faced its greatest challenge yet, as the corrupted creatures of the past united against it in an endless struggle for supremacy. And as the smoke cleared and the explosion subsided, one thing was certain, this battle would continue for eternity, a testament to the unyielding will of those who fought within.